Welcome to fourth grade health. This is for pages 24 to 27, and we'll also do the quick check on page 27. And last time we were talking about voluntary muscles that you tell what to do, like your skeletal muscles, like you can move, your mind tells your arms to go up and to stretch out, and it may tell you to walk, and so those are voluntary muscles because you tell them what to do. But we do have some involuntary muscles, and without them, we wouldn't be able to live, because one of those is the cardiac muscle, and that is the heart. And so your heart beats more than 100,000 times each day, 90 times in a minute. So if you were in charge of telling your heart to pump or to contract or to push more blood out, you would have to be saying, heart work, heart work, heart work, heart pump, heart, do all of these things, and you'd have to say it 90 times in a minute, but we wouldn't be able to do that. There's just no way to be able to say all of that. And to do that throughout the day would exhaust us. But thankfully, God provided our heart as an involuntary muscle that pumps on its own, and unless there's a problem with it, it will continue to work. The size of your heart is about the size of one fist. And I think we've kind of talked about that before as well. So your fist is your heart size, 2 fists is your brain size. And so, of course, that's encased in a skull, so that's why the heads are pretty big compared to the size of both of your fists together. But we do want to build up our muscles, our strong muscles. So we have our involuntary muscles, there's the cardiac muscle, and if you are lacking in some key nutrients, calcium, potassium could be one of them, you might experience a cramp. It's a sharp pain in one of your muscles. Sometimes you get them after you've been out running, or maybe at PE you get a cramp because you didn't stretch enough. But it can also be a sign that you have a lack of calcium in your body. And so drinking maybe some milk or having something that is high in calcium would be good to help relieve that cramp. But your muscles can also be weak from not enough use. And so we want to make sure that we are using our muscles. Voluntary muscles have cords in them, threads that are called fibers, and unless we are exercising them, then they become weak. But when we exercise or use them, they grow stronger and larger and firmer. And let's go ahead and take a look at our muscular chart. We've only looked at some of these muscles, so we're only going to go over the ones that we looked at last time. So last time we looked at the trapezius, which is this muscle here in the front, but then also in the back, it's this long muscle, okay? And then we looked at the pectorals, which are there, your deltoid, which is your shoulder, your bicep, which is on the inside or on the top of it, and then your tricep on the bottom. Quadriceps are in your leg there, and your hamstrings are in the back. We didn't talk about these, but your gluteals, your backside, and your abdominal muscles are right there. Now in the head, we only talked about the frontalis and the masseter, right? So that's where those are. And so we want to keep working on learning those muscles. Those are very important to know where those are and to know what may be where something is in your body. Of course, you're going to need to know these for the tests and quizzes. And we do kind of go fast through health, but they do have you rereading some sections sometimes, which really helps to just solidify all of this in your mind, as it is only for one semester, or one quarter, I'm sorry. Just a couple questions. What muscle covers your abdomen? We just talked about all the muscles on the chart, so which one covers your abdomen? That's your abdominal muscle. What muscle is on the back of your thigh? Those are your hamstrings. All right. And so just want to go through some things that you need for building strong muscles. Protein, lots of protein. That's lean meats, fish, poultry, eggs, milk, buttermilk, powdered milk, yogurt, cheese, soybeans, and wheat germ. And so you don't want to have flabby muscles, but if you don't have enough protein in your diet, you will. Carbohydrates could supply energy. So that's fruits, vegetables, whole grain bread and cereals, seeds, nuts, dried beans and peas, and honey. And then, of course, calcium helps with strong bones, but it also helps with your nerves and with your muscles. And muscle tone is what is called when the muscles in your body are seldom completely relaxed except when they're sleeping. They are gently pulling against each other most of the time. This steady contraction is called muscle tone. And so you want good muscle tone, because then it keeps your muscles from just lying there and not doing anything. You can also cause damage to your muscle. That's a strain. And with that, you want to make sure that you rest it so that it will repair itself, and that you can use this. We haven't looked at this method. It was the 6th grade that's learning all the first aid. But there's a method to dealing with strains and sprains, and that is to use the RICE method. And so it's rest, so resting, whatever it is, icing it for the first few hours is critical to ice something that may be, it may have swelled up. So rest, ice, compression, and that's a loosely wrapped, but like not too loose, but it's usually when you put the ice on. If it's like your arm, you put the ice pack on your arm and then you wrap it just to keep it on there, but you don't like make it really tight, otherwise you'll cut off circulation. It's not good. But you ice it, compression and elevation, and you elevate above the level of your heart. So if it's your arm, you should get on maybe a couch or something and have your arm resting up there. If it's your leg or your ankle or something, you can lay down on a couch, or you can lay down on the floor and rest it on the couch. And so there's different things that you can do to make sure that you heal properly from an injury. And some of the cramps, you may get a cramp in the calf of your leg, and it's because the front of your lower leg needs to contract. So there's a cramp because the front isn't contracting right. So if you put your foot under something that doesn't move and hold it down with the other heel and try to lift your leg, in about 20 seconds, your calf muscle should be relaxed. Okay, so there's some tips on how to relieve cramps. And the other thing that you can do in order to, along with all of this, things that you can do to help your body having a good balanced diet helps, but then also if you exercise, it does more for your muscles. It does more for your body than just build your strong bones. It keeps you limber or flexible, and it builds up an endurance. And so you are, if you've ever gone and maybe think of back when you were in PE class and running around the gym, and that first time around may have been a little hard, and then the next time it's still a little hard, but by the third or fourth time you're starting to build up some endurance, and the more you do that, the more often that you are involved in those exercises, the farther you're going to be able to go the next time. And then aerobic exercises are ones that get your heart rate up. So getting doing jumping jacks, or push-ups, or even going hiking or skating, playing basketball, soccer, riding a bike. That's an aerobic activity that you could do. Swimming is a good one as well. And so those things are things that we can do to help keep ourselves healthy. And working is also an excellent form of exercise. So cleaning your room and doing chores, weeding the garden, mowing the lawn, just helping around the house, maybe doing the dishes, vacuuming, and doing these things keeps you active and keeps you from getting bored as well. And so go ahead and read these pages 24 to 27 at the quick check, and then answer the quick check on a piece of paper. And then next time we will go over those. All right. There is a quiz also. I almost forgot. So there's a quiz over the first part of this chapter 2. So pages 21 to 27. So there's a quiz in the next lesson, pages 21 to 27. Make sure you study. We'll see you next time.